Hi there, everyone. Welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is from Jataka Tales. I don't even have a cover on this book. It is so old. I don't know where the cover is, but Jataka Tales are a lot like Panchatantra, and they kind of go together. If you have one, you have another. They are stories mainly of animals, but these animals have a lot of human qualities. And the reason that our culture and ancient storytellers had this is because a lot of us have animal tendencies. And there isn't a lot of difference between many people we know and like literal monkeys. So this is one story that illustrates that, and they put that symbolism in there to show that we're number one, we're not that different. Number two, we can learn a lot of things, and number three, we can learn a lot of things from animals and from ourselves by how we behave. And number three, that these lessons can come pretty much in any form. And it also illustrates a time when the earth was so magical that monkeys could talk. We could understand each other. We were not limited to our own languages, and just humans are different, animals are different. Everyone kind of interacted together. So this is called The Monkeys and the Gardener. The King of Varanasi. Oh, that reminds me, Jataka Tales always take place in ancient times. So 2000 years ago, 1500 years ago, kings and queens, and they all had royal staff. There was no government. There were no elections. So that's when this was all happening. The king of Varanasi had a beautiful garden, which was looked after by a loyal gardener. One night, you can see the gardener is returning to his hut, or a visitor is coming to his hut. That's right, it's a visitor. Hello, friend. The festival in town begins tomorrow. And the gardener says, I know. Friend says, there's going to be plenty of fun. Gardener says, how I wish I could come. Friend says, what? Aren't you coming? And then the gardener replies, if I do, who will water the garden? So the next day, one of the local monkeys stops by, has a little chat, as they did back then. The next day, why do you look so sad, gardener? And the gardener says, there's a festival on in town. And the monkey is pretty much like, well, why aren't you going? Gardener says, I want to go to it, but who will water my garden? The monkey says, whew, that's no problem. Monkey says, my friends and I will water the garden for you. And gardener asks, you will? Now remember, you guys, this was not when we had like the extra long extension hose plugged into the fire hydrant on the street or plugged into your house or something. They were carrying buckets and buckets and buckets of water from the local creek or the river to the garden. And so being a gardener for a garden like this was a full-time job. And most of it was walking with water. Thank you, dear monkey, says the gardener. I'll return in a few days as soon as possible. So maybe the gardener took the monkey's offer because it was really the only offer that he had had. It's not like the human friend over here was like, hey, I'll help you. No. Kudos to the monkeys for offering to help as a real solution, but we will see how this turns out. Thank you, dear monkey, says the gardener. I'll return in a few days as soon as possible. And the monkey says, have a fine time, friend. And then the monkey, with excellent intentions that don't always work out, says, now to round up all my friends. So there we are. There's the monkey gang. Come on, my monkeys, we have work to do. Very important work. And then the monkey says, what is it? What do we have to do? And the lead monkey says, the gardener wants us to water his garden while he is away. And they're so enthusiastic. They're like, what fun! When can we start? And the lead monkey says, right away, go get the watering cans and buckets. So they volunteer for this job and they're totally enthusiastic about it, but they don't know what they're doing. And that's the part no one ever figured out. Even the gardener wasn't like, hey guys, you want me to show you how to do it like for a day? No, there's no training, no on the job training. As soon as they were ready, and this is actually partly the gardener's fault. He could have taught them how to do this. So they're noticing things and they have questions and they can't just pull out their cell and call the gardener. Some trees are small and some are big, says one monkey. And another one says, that's right. How much water should we give to each tree? And then the lead monkey says, that's no problem at all. How does he know this? I don't know. Because maybe he's like, there's always one kid that you know who thinks he knows everything, or actually an adult who thinks he knows everything, but he's just making it up. So that's what this lead monkey is. All you have to do is pull up each plant and have a look at the size of its roots. That's right. Kill every plant. You guys know that if you uproot a plant, yank it right out of the ground, it will most likely die. If you have the exact right conditions, you may be able to replant it. You may be able to move a plant and transplant it, but a lot of the time it will not survive it. So he's saying, have a look at the size of the roots. And another guy goes, and then the lead monkey says, you pour less for the smaller roots and more for the bigger roots. In theory, I mean, that's how you would do it for like giving water to a child, right? As less water for a baby and more for an older kid. But this is not how it is with plants, but they didn't know, no one ever taught them. So they're praising their leader. You really are clever. What a wonderful idea. And this guy's like, yep, it was quite simple, really. So there they are. And the carnage begins. So they begin uprooting all the plants. Oh no. Meanwhile, in town, there's the festival everyone is enjoying, and the gardener is there at a stand thinking, I wonder how my monkey friends are getting along with their task. I can't believe he didn't think once to help them. 2 days later, the gardener returned home, and his friend is there with him too. And he says to the monkeys, what have you done? And then the monkey leader says, we watered each plant according to the needs of its roots. And then the other guy goes, yeah, that's right, we did. So they had no idea. And then this guy knows what happened. Whatever shall I do now? What shall I tell the king? And the friend tuts him and he goes, that's what comes of depending on a fool. He may mean well, but will end up doing more harm than anything else. The end. So I don't know. As a child, I was reading these books and I was like, yeah, I totally agree. Right on, Jataka Tales, 100%. But I'm kind of like, look, now I'm an adult and I want on-the-job training for like at least 2 weeks for every job. It's mandatory. You can't just throw somebody in there and then blame them when they mess up, especially a monkey. Poor guys aren't even human. Look at the confusion. Look at this. He's sad because he knows he messed up, but then he's leaving. And he's like, oh, okay, they did their best. Now, totally the gardener's fault. Totally this guy's fault. And this guy, it's like he's tutting him down here and going, shouldn't have done that. But were you offering to help, buddy? Were you offering to help? No, I did not see one offer of help when you was like, hey, the fair's in town. Anyway, this story was called The Monkeys and the Gardener. And it's part of Jataka Tales. We will go through this book and so many other stories. There are different stories every time we upload a video. So please join us again on Indian Story Read Along. If you like this story, then consider subscribing to this channel. We'll see you next time.